next thing I want to talk about is it's kind of, I mean, it's based on that same idea of like an up move, a pullback and consolidation, and then the next leg up. Um, but what you'll usually see if you look closer into that big kind of like Z pattern is that during that pullback and consolidation, there's usually a sign that the stock is going to make another move up, and it's basically the ABCD pattern. And I'm going to get a image for you here because there's a really nice like picture. Hopefully it's here. Yeah. So there's this really nice picture. I'll show it to you in a second of that like Investors Underground puts out of this ABCD pattern. And hold on just a second. I'm trying to get just the picture. Here we go. Okay, so this is also like this is basically what like really helps me time my entries on most of my long trades is this ABC pattern. And what you're seeing is like this first impulse move up is this move here on the left up to the A. And then the pullback and consolidation that I was showing you is actually this whole period from A to C. And then you get the next leg up is that C to D. And then, so what I was just saying was that during that pullback and consolidation, there's a pattern that you can see that kind of can give you more confidence in timing the entry correctly. And that's that it's based on this ABCD pattern that we're seeing here, where stock is going to make a big move up. It's going to have its initial pullback, and then it's usually going to try to bounce a little bit from there, but it's not going to it usually won't come anywhere near that previous high. And then from there, it's going to pull back and set a higher low than this low at B. And then at that point, that's where I'm usually wanting to enter for this next leg up. And what you can see, unfortunately, I can't just draw on this, but you can see that that's actually forming this like bit of a wedge here. If you were to draw a downtrend line from this A point to this middle push here, you'd have a downtrend. And then if you draw an uptrend line between these two lows, you would end up having this like a symmetrical triangle. And a lot of times I'm looking to buy like breakouts out of that symmetrical triangle. And it's based on this ABCD pattern. And so you can see that's what happened on BKKT here. And I'll actually make that image a bit smaller so we can see them both. So the same thing, we had the big move up. That's this move up to A. Then we had a pull back and set a low. So we pulled back. This is the low here. That's B right there. We had this bounce, but we didn't really come anywhere near testing that high. That's this little bounce here in the middle. And then we pulled back and set a higher low. So we bounce, we pull back, higher low here. And then we get the run from C to D. And so that was how I ended up catching this move again on BKKT here. It was a couple days ago. And I bought it. It was here. It was like 28.50, I think. And unfortunately, I sold it into this first move here up to 33, which was a nice $5 share move. And I had wanted to get back in because I thought this could go a lot higher and potentially break out over that $60 level. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to find a good entry that I was comfortable with, and I never got back in. So I missed like a lot of that move. But like I said, I got a good $5 per share. Almost a 20% move. But you can see that exact same shape right there. And this is, I'm looking at a 3-minute chart. I'll switch this to like a 15-minute chart. And then that can make it a little bit more clear. Where you see that big move up, pull back, the bounce, pull back higher low, and then it goes up from there. And so this, again, like because the market's a fractal, you'll see that play out on all time frames. This is playing out over a week, right? This is like 5 days. But then that same thing plays out intraday, during the day. So that was what we had here on BKKT the other day. We have this move up, and I might as well leave this here too. So we have this move up to A. That's this. It pulls back, sets a low. This one on that middle test here actually did come close to testing that. So they don't always, stay very far away from there. This ended up being more of a ascending triangle. But anyways, we have the move up to A, the pullback, settle low. We'll have some sort of attempt, but it's going to fail, and it's going to pull back and set a higher low, and then from there, that's where it's going to go. And the goal with like an ABCD pattern is that it actually breaks out over that A level and keeps going. But so now, I just showed you that on this stock on a 5-day chart, and then now this is it. This is just intraday, same pattern playing out intraday. Let's see, Chester Trades asks, what makes you confirm that D move? Are you buying in anticipation when a higher low forms in C? Yeah, so most of the time I'm going to be buying around C, and I'm usually waiting for it to break out of a wedge. And so let me show you that. Yeah, because we can talk about wedges also. And because it's pretty much anytime you get that kind of ABCD pattern, you'll have this wedge form. Like I say, you'll go from like A, and you'll usually draw a downtrend to this middle test here. So drawing a downtrend line from A to that first push attempt, which is what I'm doing here. And then you're going to have some sort of uptrend. That would be, in this case, you would probably draw something like that, kind of from the low of that first move to this low. And so you have this wedge. So I'm looking to buy like breakouts of wedges for my entries oftentimes. And so this is on a big time frame scale. So in that case, it's more saying, since this is happening at such a slower scale, like it's building up day by day, that's telling me that like this day is the day I want to play, but I'm not necessarily looking specifically for that exact break of that wedge. And like that wedge would be more of a basically a symmetrical triangle. And then what I was saying with this one, since that middle test came up close to testing the initial high, this is more of an ascending triangle. But it is still a bit of a wedge here. Usually I'm drawing it from that low. So you can kind of see in this, maybe if I go to a lower time frame, it might be a little more clear. But on an intraday time frame, a lot of times I'm looking to like buy like at this point right here, right as we come to the point of the wedge.